So it's the day after what was deemed as one of the biggest negative catalysts for Sofi stock in December. When Sofi announced that they will be redeeming all the warrants, what everyone thought, and that includes me as well, that we are going to see some negative price action from the redemption as we have more shares available in the open market and shares will get diluted, etc., etc. But look what happened. Instead of the price going down, it actually went up, and credit, of course, goes to the market and the sentiment, the COVID news, and few other things. Along with that, Sofi stock has been hammered in the last few days along with the market and have lost close to 20% since December 1st. It's crazy. In just last 5 days, it has lost 20% of its value. So in this video, let me share a few details that I noticed with the stock today and also a few other interesting things to watch out for in the coming days. Now, if you enjoy content like this, then give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And if you'd like to talk about Sofi in more details, then head over to our Patreon and join our Discord where we talk about Sofi, Palantir, Matterport, EVs, and much more. Okay, so let me start with warrants. So yesterday, December 6th, was the last day for warrants to be redeemed. And let's see how many warrants were traded yesterday. So the chart on your screen shows the number of warrants that were traded yesterday. And as you can see, 12/7, we have nothing because they were delisted. Right here, delisted, SOFIW, this is the warrant ticker, and says delisted. That means you cannot trade the warrants. So yesterday on 12/6, we had about 359,000 warrants that were traded. This is really a shocker for me because I was expecting a lot larger volume, but this shows that a lot of people have already traded their volume, which is amazing, which is one should be doing, because if you are planning to exercise your warrant or redeem your warrant, then you need to take care of it before the last date, in my opinion. And over here you can see the last price was 550 and we had 359,324 warrants that were traded. And then before that we had higher volume days, 800 over here, 443, 667. So people have been pretty active in the warrants from last, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks. And I have shown in my previous video the other chart of the warrant all the way going back to October, and we saw some 1 million, 2 million warrant days. So we can see that people were really active in trading warrants. Now, take a look at the chart and how the price moved today. So today was really interesting for Sofi stock for many reasons. This is a yearly chart, and I'm going to point out few things on the yearly chart. This is a Fibonacci retracement that I have drawn. I used the same chart, but of course with the updated pricing because of the day pricing. And there are a few things to note. So stock really tried hard to come and close or get close to the 38.2 Fibonacci level or 1706 price point. Of course, it did not even touch 17. It was really struggling to touch about 1680s or 90s, but then it came down. As you can see on a daily chart, it touched 1672. Right here is a minute candle, but then it kind of retraced back. One of the things that I noticed was the volume was not there. The Sofi stock was moving up, but the volume was not there. That tells me that there were more retail investors in the stock today than any institutions or any big hedge funds. They're still waiting on the sideline. That's why you don't see the volume. So if the volume was up, let's say 50 million, 60 million, then I would have said, you know what, yes, we had like big institution or big hedge funds coming in and buying the stock. So the highest number of shares that were traded today in one bet is 20,000 shares. That was the biggest trade. 20,000 is not a lot. When hedge funds comes in, they buy 200,000 or million shares like that. And that's when you know then the serious volume is coming in and price is going to go up higher. So the bounce that I see over here was exciting, yes, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on that bounce because it could come down very well because the volume was not there to support this bounce. As I was telling you before, that it really tried hard. We need to cross that 1706 or 38.2 level here, 38.2% level here on Fibonacci for us to see that 1920 back up again. Again, it could happen, but again, the market is still not sure which direction it wants to take. The market did phenomenal today. I mean, I got out of some of my stocks to kind of raise some cash to be ready for the Fed meeting. So no complaints there. But what I'm saying is that volume that was with the Sofi was not supporting the price. So the price was up, but it was not exciting enough for me to make any trades. So I really didn't do anything except the shares I already had or the contracts that I already had. I was just holding those. Along with that, pay attention to this. On a daily chart, the RSI is now starting to look better. Again, it came down all the way to the 30 mark. Now it's at 37.96. And as we have seen before, it has come up, but then it has came down again. So again, I'm not really excited unless I see RSI come back to like 40s, then I would be like, okay, now the buyers are in. So right now I'm just watching these two things very carefully. When I see the RSI kind of touch up a little bit more, then I would get more excited about it. The other thing I noticed is that MACD is still negative. It turned negative on November 10th. This is really interesting. So us retailers, we need to pay attention, and that's why TA works sometimes beautifully. So if you pay attention over here, on November 10th, the MACD turned negative. And if you look at the price on November 10th, who would have thought that at 25 price, when we have everything going good, when everything is looking so bright, all of a sudden the MACD is now turning negative, and we may have a selling pressure, which happened right away after that. And then RSI was really high at that time as well. As you can see this time, if you pay right attention to this, the RSI was in 50s. So sometimes TA works beautifully. But what could have happened at this time? If they would have announced bank charter, or if they would have announced any bigger catalyst, for example, acquisition of another company or merger with another company, then all this would have gone down the drain and stock would have ran up really high again. So my point here is that the bounce that we saw today, I'm not getting too excited over it until I see continuous movement and some more volume that will be added in Sofi. That's my main two things that I'm looking for. I need to see more and more volume in Sofi. So now let me share some exciting details and also the reason why I actively play this stock. Well, I have a lot of stocks that I like, for example, Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Google, Nvidia, etc. But I have reasons why I like Sofi. Strong team, full list of product, and huge TAM or total addressable market. But another thing that's very exciting is this, and if you have seen my video yesterday on Palantir, then you know or remember this chart or know what I'm talking about. So this is the chart of Sofi right here on your screen. Now, do me a favor and compare this to Palantir. Go back into my yesterday's video and take a look at the same chart for Palantir, and then you would know what I'm talking about or why I'm saying that I like Sofi for this reason as well. So take a look. There are more green dots plotted on this chart than red dots. That means there are more insiders buying Sofi or keeping Sofi than they are selling, which is really cool to see, because again, there are many reasons why insiders sell their stocks, but there are only few why they buy them. Now, some of these could be a part of the options grant, but they end up keeping the shares. They don't have to. They could have easily very well came out and sold the shares that they got from options and then be happy with the money that they received, but they decided to keep the shares. That's why you see these net shares or these green shares plotted on the chart over here. And as you can see, we have one yellow, which is the options grant, of course, which basically resulted in the net options grant. And then we have these green marks, and then we have these red marks, which are, of course, means that they sold. So when I see more green, doesn't matter if it's on the price chart or over here on this chart, I like it more. And as recent as December 2nd, this is a sale, or sorry, this is a purchase that took place on December 2nd. Look at the price this person bought right here at the bottom on December 2nd. So this is really exciting to see that while the whole world is freaking out and we are seeing, okay, Sofi is going to $10, Sofi is going to $11, and then there is an insider who's coming and buying the stock. This shows confidence. This shows that they believe in the company that they work for. And trust me, when someone works in the company, they know the company more than you and I do, because they know what's going on inside. So when they come out and they buy the share and it gets plotted like this, then that's a sign or a vote of confidence for me. Again, can Sofi not touch $13? Absolutely, it can touch $13 or $14. We don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody can time the market. But if you are not planning to sell Sofi this month, this week, or this year, then you don't have to worry about anything, because the company is just getting started, and this is just the starting or the growing pains the company is going through. The whole market is going through pain. So even though we have seen major price movement today, in my opinion, we are not out yet. Fed's meeting will be the key for overall market to decide which direction they want to take. And another thing which is really important for Sofi is the student loan program. Government need to start the loan repayment as scheduled from January 31st, or we are going to see another shock on Q1 guidance from Sofi. But hopefully we'll have a bank charter to soften that blow. This is very interesting time in the market. Last few days I have sold some position, as I told before, to generate some cash, and right now I'm just waiting on the sideline to see what comes next. Hope I provided some value, and if you liked the video, then consider subscribing and hit the like button so we can reach out to more Sofi lovers. And if you like talking about Sofi and much more, then head over to our Patreon. The details are in the description below. As always, an absolute pleasure to share all of this with everyone. Until next time, you all have a sparkling day.